Yours would be blue.
Concerns me, Curtis.
Mine would be red, I think.
710 on Jail 95.7.
Yours would be a blue one.
With Connie and Curtis. 47 degrees now, 62 the high today. There's a chance of rain tonight. It's still so dark.
Did you go to see the movie Gone Girl? I know you had talked about maybe wanting to see it.
I haven't yet. My plan is to see it this week.
Okay, so you're going to see it.
This weekend I saw This Is Where I Leave You.
Oh, my goodness.
So good. Did you love it?
I told you that I was wondering why everyone was crying at this movie. And like I had a big ball in my throat. I mean, it was a great movie.
Great movie.
Like
if you haven't seen it, see it.
You're happy, you're sad. But
yes.
I asked about Gone Girl because I asked Katie if she wanted to see it. Mm-hmm. And she said, oh, no, not really. And I said, not really? Why? What's up? She said, well, I read it. And I know what's going to happen. Apparently, it's there are a couple twists and turns that you don't see coming. And she's like, I kind of already know what's going to happen.
Right.
I don't really need to go see that with you. And I said, well, I want to see it. She's like, why don't you read it? So yesterday,
you read it?
Half of it. I read half of it. Yeah, I'm about halfway through. So I read about half of it. This thing, I mean, I can see why this was such a good book. This book has me, it's like watching a movie. In the book, like I cannot put it down. And it was so crazy that I was reading, and apparently I'm not a reader because the TV was off, and I'm sitting on the couch reading, and Haley came in and said, what are you doing? And I said, oh, I'm reading. And she said, reading what? And I said, I'm reading a book because I wanted to see the movie. And exactly. So then all the girls, they didn't know what to do because there's no TV on. So then they all went and got books. Like we were like a family in the 1800s or a family of smart people just sitting reading.
Did they not see you reading 50 Shades of Grey? Because I know you read 1 out of 3 of those books.
No, they didn't see me doing that because that was on my phone.
Okay.
So it would just look like I was looking on my phone. Okay. This, I very clearly was reading.
Were you reading an actual book?
Reading on a Nook.
Oh, okay.
And it was confusing to them, like what's going on. And then poor Charlotte, so she reads before going to sleep. And she said, do you want to come and read in my room? I said, yeah, I'll read in your room. And she has a nice new chair that I wanted to try out. So Katie says, why are you going in there? And I said, well, she's got this chair. Katie says, please don't sit in that. That's not an adult-sized chair. So I had to just sit on the floor reading. And Charlotte's like, you can sit in my chair, Dad. I'm like, no, Mom says I'll break it.
So was she reading her own thing and you were reading your own?
She was reading her own
together?
thing. And then it was the cutest thing because she put her book down and I wasn't done yet with my chapter. So I'm like, I said, oh, okay, let me just finish this chapter and then I'll leave. And she goes, you don't have to, Dad. And she picked up another book like she was going to keep reading. I'm like, no, you're tired. And she's like, that's okay.
Oh,
because
Charlotte.
we never have this quiet time with no yelling or annoying. So it was good. It's good read and read.
Oh, that's so cute.
But this book, oh my goodness. I mean, it is. So then I say to Katie that I think I know who did it. And she throws a total monkey wrench, like makes my whole brain freak out and like do a U-turn with the question she asked me. And I'm like, oh, now you did. I said, did you just ruin it for me? And she's like, I have to go. And I'm like,
don't you feel like it's really rare that you don't figure out the ending?
Right.
I feel like I always figure it out. And I that's why when I don't figure it out, I'm like, that's the best movie ever.
And that's what Katie said
spend my whole time
about this Gone Girl. She said for the whole time she thought she knew it. And then, boom, it punches you in the face. And I said, I think it's this person. And she then says, oh, or could it be this person? I'm like, you are a jerk saying that it's that person. So
are you then going to go see the movie?
I don't know. Well, if I can read it and then say, hey, let's go see it, let's do it. But I'm already picturing Ben Affleck as the guy and Neil Patrick Harris as the old boyfriend. So I already see these people as they are. So I don't even know that I need to see it.
Yeah.
But if it blows me away, I would want to see how it's done just because the way the book is written is very back and forth. Like it's him for a chapter and then it's her for a chapter. Him, her. So just see how they
seems like
piece
when
that
people
together.
love a book like that and they read it and love it, they never like the movie or vice versa. If they see the movie and then read the book, they always, one of them is always a letdown. I've never seen anybody say, oh, yeah, the movie was just as good as the book.
Right.
It always seems like it's a letdown.
Because it's tarnished a little bit. Like, you have to do a lot of your own mind work in a book. And
there's so much more detail in a book.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So then you see. And that's part of the thing that I kind of want to see the movie. Because there's some pretty hot scenes that I wouldn't mind checking out.
I told Dan that I was going to see 2 movies while they were still in the theaters.
Okay.
One of them was This Is Where I Leave You, and the other one is Gone Girl.
Okay.
And he's like, okay, well, pick which one you want me to go with. I said, okay, well, I think you would enjoy Gone Girl more.
Right.
But then when I saw This Is Where I Leave You, he would enjoy that too. But that's
Yeah.
not a stereotypical Dan kind of
No.
movie, but he would enjoy it.
Well, and
just like Marley and Me. That's the only time I've ever seen Dan
You saw
cry.
Marley and Me?
Yeah, we saw it in the theater, and that's
Okay.
the only time I've ever seen him with tears in his eyes.
Wow.
Seriously.
I have not seen Marley and Me, so don't spoil it.
Okay, I won't.
But This Is Where I Leave You. Katie and I went to see it the first day. We're like, hey, let's go
Yep.
watch this movie. And it was a pretty full theater at like 11:30, 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And we're there, and I just hear sniffling. And I'm sitting like, what the heck? And then I got the lump. I'm like, oh, this movie.
I know.
What the heck, this movie?
Yeah, I don't want to give anything away, but it was a great movie. And speaking of movies, Magic Mike XXL,
Oh, did you hear?
July 1st, it's coming out. Yay!
Now, is it this year or is it 2016? Is it 15 or 16?
15.
So in like 8 months,
Yep.
we're going to get to see Channing Tatum shaking his thing
Yep.
again.
Yep.
Which I still haven't seen the first one. Would I be lost if I go see Magic Mike XL and I haven't seen Magic Mike 1?
I doubt it, but I don't
pretty-
know what it's going to be like.
Pretty easy to follow is what you're saying.
Probably.
Guy shakes
I mean,
it.
it's not really a brain teaser.
People throw money in there. People throw money in there. The guy
And man,
shakes
he
it.
can dance.
Did you see the other big movie announcement that came out today?
Which one?
October 9th, 2015.
Is
Vacation. National
What?
Lampoon's Vacation.
a remake?
Not a remake. It's Rusty and his wife. Rusty the son and his wife in this movie.
Are they using the actual Rusty?
They are not. They are not
that's
going to
too
use
bad.
him. They're using Chris Hemsworth will be Rusty.
Ooh,
Which
I might even go see that one.
I know Ed Helms is Rusty. Chris Hemsworth is going to be Audrey's husband.
Okay.
So Ed Helms, from The Office.
Yeah.
And just being goofy.
He was Rusty?
He's going to be Rusty in this
Oh,
movie.
okay.
No, he never was in real
Okay.
life. And Christina Applegate will be in it. She's going to be his wife.
Okay.
And then Leslie Mann, who is hilarious, and Chris Hemsworth are going to be Rusty or Audrey and her husband.
Okay.
So get
And that's
ready.
this year or next
That's
year?
next October,
Next
October
October.
9th.
So July 1st and October 9th.
We have 2 movies we have to go to.
Oh, and 50 Shades, that's coming out on Valentine's Day.
Valentine's
Oh,
Day.
look at all the fun movies. We're ready for 2015.
2015 is set.
I know.
Right? And we're only a month away from Mockingjay. I mean,
What's Mockingjay?
That's the 3rd Hunger Games.
Oh, yeah, I don't
Coming
know
out
about
in
that.
November. You and I, we're going to be front row, baby.
No, you and Amanda.
Oh, Amanda.
Yeah,
Are we
I'm excited.
And
in?
Haley.
I'm in.
You, me, and my daughter Haley. We go see Mockingjay Part 1. What's going to happen with this thing?
I don't know.
Movie time, baby. Right? Good
It's
ones.
fall.
We got good ones coming.
It's a time to go. All right, 62 and a chance of rain on the way tonight. 47 right now.
Connie and Curtis.
Connie. Life, you've been struggling to make things right. That's how a superhero learns to fly.
The script, Superheroes. I love that song. On Channel 95.7.
Oh, my goodness.
Do you love it?
Oh, it's so good.
It makes me wish I was driving. You know, you hear songs and they're like driving songs and you crank it and you don't have kids in the car. You just crank it. You're by yourself. The windows are rolled down. It's like a perfect fall day.
You just go for
or
it.
summer day.
You just go. You just crank.
That is one of those
it.
songs to me.
They are one of those bands where they sing like they are from America, but they're from Ireland. And we have met other bands who are from America.
Wait, are they
but-
really from Ireland?
Yeah.
Didn't we do this before?
No, the script is from Ireland.
Okay.
We've talked to the script guy. Remember, he was all,
yeah.
we couldn't understand a word he was saying. And we're like, how can you sing so beautifully? And then we don't know what you're saying in real life. And he thought that was funny because he didn't know what we were saying in real life.
Right.
He's like, I can't understand you, bloke. And I was like,
Bloke?
whoa, not cool, bloke. And then we went ahead with that and we nailed it. But yeah, they sound like they could be, from, I don't know, Hudsonville, where you listen to some bands, they're from America, and you're like, where are these guys from? Oh, yeah, they're from America.
Hudsonville.
Couldn't they? The script straight out of Hudsonville.
Did you see the story yesterday about the guy who's, this is in New York. So, guy's a teacher.
Okay.
And he was in a very boring meeting. So he texted his wife and said, call in a bomb threat.
Oh, no.
And then texted her again and said, ha, ha, ha.
It's a joke.
She never saw the ha, ha, ha. She didn't even ask him why. And she called in a bomb threat.
Oh, I did.
But in her defense, she thought that it really was.
Oh, like there was a
she thought
bomb.
yes, it wasn't just that she was being, like
calling a bomb threat.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if I texted Katie and said calling a bomb threat, she would not.
she would inquire as to why.
She wouldn't do
Are
it.
You okay?
She would say whatever and probably throw the phone away. She wouldn't do anything.
So of course she does it, and then the cops all show up, and then he's like, I wrote ha ha ha.
Okay. So she didn't. When I just saw the headline of that story. So what happened then is she said to the cops, hey, my husband is there. He said to call in a bomb threat. So she was out in the open with it.
Yes.
Okay.
So she called the cops back and said, oh my gosh, I just saw the ha ha ha.
Oh, it's not
but
real.
But it was too late. They're already there. They still had to investigate anyway because, yeah.
Is he fired?
No, not yet.
He gets to stay?
No.
I would fire him. I'd be like, dude.
They haven't said yet if there are going to be any criminal charges or anything. Can you imagine?
I mean, but we've all been in those meetings
Oh, yeah.
where they just drone on. In fact, I worked for a guy once who his big thing was that he would talk about how much he hated meetings with like the brass, like the upper people that
And then
he
he
had
would
to deal
keep
with.
you in one?
And then he and I would have these meetings that were like an hour and a half long, and he would spend half of our meeting complaining about the meetings he was in.
Right.
And I'm like, why am I here for this? Talk to your wife or call an 800 number.
Because he
talk to
liked
somebody.
you. He was bonding with you.
Yeah, I learned that later, but as a 22-year-old kid, I was like, why are we having this talk? I am not your sounding board. I am not here so you can just vent to me. Right?
Well, it's like Tom always says he hates meetings.
Oh, Tom is the worst.
Isn't that funny? Even Amanda laughs because Tom always says he hates meetings. But then what happens?
Tom has the longest, most drawn-out meetings.
You guys are gone for hours. I think you've left, and then I see your things still in our office.
Well, and then Tom, like Curtis will be like, oh, I have to go. I have an appointment and blah, blah, blah. And Tom's like, I'll just continue this with you, Connie.
Yes.
Like, Curtis, where are you going?
Man, never before
back,
have I
partner.
been so happy to have made up an appointment right as I walk in. You always got to do that.
Oh.
That's the thing that you have to do.
Gotta have an alarm at like 11.
That's the thing you have to do with Tom is you say, oh, yeah, I have an appointment at 11:15. And he's like, oh, for what? I'm like, oh, I'd really rather not say. And then you just move.
Personal.
It's private.
Like, hold your stomach. Oh, I'd rather not say. And then
The problem with that is we don't keep anything private around here. We
Right.
all tell each other way too
We're
much.
pretty public.
So then when you try to keep something private, everybody thinks like the worst case scenario.
Yes. Oh, my gosh, did you hear Curtis is dying?
Yeah.
Curtis
seriously,
is dying.
Seriously.
He had an appointment and he had to leave and he didn't tell anybody what it was. I think he's dying.
Yes. It's always the worst case scenario because everybody knows
Everybody
what
knows
we're
our
doing.
business.
I
We're like an
know.
Amish family. You know?
Is that the way Amish families
I mean, the
are?
Amish are very forthcoming with all kinds of. They have no secrets.
Really?
The Amish, no secrets
you
and
know
no
I feel like
that?
they're so secretive.
and no electronic devices.
Yeah, I feel like they have to be secretive.
No, I don't think so. I think that everybody knows what's going on. You raise a barn with somebody, you're ready. You know, you're like Jebediah. You and I, you're all right, Jebediah. Let's enjoy this fermented juice that we found here.
I don't think they drink alcohol.
Fortified wine, they have to. It's medicine.
How do you
Okay.
think? How do you know this about Amish people?
Man, I know so many things about so many
How?
things about the Amish and how they never share
how?
secrets.
Yes. No. They always share secrets. You said.
How they don't keep secrets.
They don't keep secrets.
The Amish, that's just a known fact. Have you ever seen Kingpin? You know that they don't really have
Kingpin?
secrets. Yes. You know that he didn't have any secrets except he was a bowler and he had to keep that secret, but he felt bad about it because he told
Right.
people everything.
There goes right out the
No.
window your theory that they keep secrets.
No, he
don't keep secrets.
He
Whatever.
He felt bad because he was so used to being so open and honest, and they, meaning
Do you
Woody,
get all your information from Kingpin?
pretty much
Yeah.
anything I know about Amish people.
Yeah.
That and that movie with Harrison
Vacation.
Ford, Witness.
Oh, that was a good movie.
Yeah, there are no Amish people in Vacation, but
And the Kirstie Alien, what's his face? Pure Michigan dude.
Tim Allen.
Tim Allen.
That's a great Pure Michigan dude.
Yeah,
Would-
Tim Allen.
That'd be a great scent.
What, Pure Michigan dude?
Yes.
It's going to be like Lake Michigan and beach
or cherries
or cherries.
would be good, or any
Or
type
wine.
of fruit. Wine.
Fago.
Could you imagine having a wine scent in your house?
Yes, we pretty much have that in your house. Anytime you walk in, you're like, "Oh, you drinking wine?" Yes, you are.
No, my house smells like a pumpkin pie.
You got so many of those.
caramel cupcake.
So many of those plugins going.
I know, and it makes me want sweet stuff. I need to stop doing. I need to put like vegetable wallflowers in.
Vegetable.
Yeah, that's
wallflowers.
beans.
Nothing
That's
smells.
bean casserole.
Nothing smells better than green beans. But
It'll still make you hungry, though.
Everything smells better than green. Yeah, but at least then I would crave a green bean and not a stupid
true.
pumpkin pie.
But then you eat them, you know? So you're like, hey, I like the smell of beans. And then you bite into it and you're like, I don't like beans.
I don't really love green beans.
No.
I mean, I can eat them, but they're not my favorite.
Do you like them
thing.
hot or cold better?
Hot.
I'm cold.
They don't have much taste, I feel.
Like, do you eat them raw?
Yeah,
Like, you snap them and
yes, because if you eat them when they're cooked, they're leathery and they have like a hair. They have fuzz on them, right?
They have a hair.
Yeah, don't you like if you have cooked green beans? Think of the texture in your mouth.
Yep.
It has like a
Like
fuzz.
a celery kind of hair.
Yeah, like fuzz on it, and you're like, why am I eating this?
I like mine best out of a can, though.
Okay,
So
and
they don't have that.
they don't have the fuzz.
It's probably worn off in that juice they've been sitting in for 17 years.
preservatives.
And that
Yeah.
juice. That juice smells like the best.
Disgusting.
No, I love that juice.
Yeah.
I would drink that juice before I would eat hot green beans.
Really?
Yes. In fact, why don't I drink the juice since you hate it? You cook them up and then you eat the green beans.
No, I don't like that plan.
Used to get Hunger Man lunches all the time.
You
And then
did?
they would have the green beans right in them. I like the kind with the chicken fried steak. So it's chicken fried steak, green beans, which I
Are these the XXL lunges?
before XXL.
Okay.
Before that was even a thing.
Okay.
So back in just the regular days.
Okay.
So some green beans and then a little brownie was right there. Delicious. Then they switched the brownie to like a peach cobbler. So now there's two things I hate: green beans and peaches in the same dish.
So do you not buy them then?
Well, I haven't bought one in probably 20 years, but
Mm-hmm.
that was my go-to. That was my main meal every time because they were super cheap. Like
Right.
when I lived by myself, that's what I would buy. I would buy beer and a Hunger Man dinners, and the
Have you
occasional
had your cholesterol checked?
like Totino's pizza rolls. I would buy.
Oh,
blood
those
pressure?
are so good.
Yeah.
those are good.
see?
I had those last week.
I don't see. You should be checking your blood pressure then. haven't
I
had-
do. Remember I said I get physicals
Oh,
and I get things
yes.
checked and you do not.
No, and why would you?
So you can know how your health is doing.
Have the doctor tell me to stop coming. I'm like, "Pfft, don't have to tell me twice. That's easy. I'm gonna stop coming. He's like, you
Curtis.
come when you like have an issue. You don't need to come now. I'm like, okay, good. Thanks
I
a
don't
lot,
feel like
Doc.
any doctor would ever say that.
I don't feel like they would either.
My doctor definitely
Not
said
a
that.
reputable one.
Speaking of doctors, so we're watching TV yesterday, and some commercial comes on for some pill or something, and it says, not a doctor, this is an actor. So Elizabeth says, why does it have to say that? And I said, well, because people are supposed to just trust what doctors say.
Right.
So if you see a doctor talking on TV, Dr. Oz, you lying dirtbag, you do what he tells you. Like how many chia seeds can you eat before you realize I'm just
Get
eating-
over the
I'm
chia
just
seed
getting
thing.
rich.
Gosh.
So yeah, we're watching this whole thing, and it says, and she's like, "Well, why about the doctor?" Because you're supposed to do what a doctor says,
Right.
And she says, "Oh, and if it didn't say that, like we wouldn't do what he says." I'm like, "No, he's an actor. Go to your room. You know, have you ever just had to excuse someone to their room so they can think about what they've said?"
No, I don't have kids.
I definitely had
There
to-
definitely been times I wanted to excuse Dan to his room.
You should, Dan. You know what? Why don't
Go
you
to your room.
Why don't you go take a time out? Go sit on the steps for 5 minutes. You know, you're gonna because you can't send
Like when he updated my phone yesterday with that stupid new iOS update that
Oh,
I
you
did
got
not
it.
want done. Yeah, and I've been not doing it intentionally for 3 weeks.
Okay.
And then I go and I take a nap and I wake up and Dan's like, "Hey, I updated your phone for you." And I'm like, "No."
What? Okay, so what has happened? I've seen a couple people have some issues with the iOS.
I don't know. They just said first everybody was having issues, and then I saw a story saying, "Do not use the update."
From Apple,
Somebody, I don't know.
because Apple puts out the update. I mean, they
Right,
want you to
they
do
didn't
it.
say that, but
you want the
it
updated
had some
stuff.
bugs, and they admitted that it had some bugs. So I intentionally was not doing it.
And he did it.
He did it,
Went
but he
into your
didn't
phone.
know.
Hold on, I'm about to do something I've only done one other time. I sneeze again. I never sneeze.
Oh my gosh!
I know.
Why can't you wait?
I
That's
know.
what he used to always say to me when I would sneeze on the air.
Connie sneezes.
I can't help it.
Excuse me, by the way. Connie sneezes all the time in here, and I just sneezed the second time ever in my whole life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you did
And
it right there on the air. You want me to
last
get judgy to you like you are to me?
Yes.
I'm not going
yes,
to.
I deserve it.
I'm more mature than that.
No, I deserve it.
You do deserve it, but I'm more mature than
See?
that.
See? So you're
Absolutely.
admitting that you deserve it when I do it.
No, you deserve it because you always do it to me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's not eye for an eye time here.
Yeah, it is.
Are we
Have
popping
you
out
met
our
us?
eyes?
Have you met us?
Wish I could pop out my eye. That'd be a great party trick.
We gotta go.
I put it in a cup, like with ice, and hand it to somebody at a party.
Mm-hmm.
That's my eye. Kind of gross, though.
It would be very gross.
Yeah.
And especially because they have all kind of veins and things connecting.
Well, no,
like
not my
connecting
real
things.
eye.
Oh.
Like it would be a glass eye. I'm not going to take my actual eye out of my head.
Well, you just said you wish you could take your eye out.
Yeah, meaning that it would be glass. I'm
Well,
not popping out
elaborate, son. How the heck am I supposed to know what load you're talking about? I was just swore.
I'm not the strongest person in the world just pulling eyes out of
That
here.
would be disgusting.
It would. Would you drink it, though, still?
No. And stop asking me stupid questions.
Can't help myself.
We got more t-shirts on the way.
Wake up.